Let's talk about all of the narrative parallels and foils between Sukuna and Yuji. And shout out to Chance for sponsoring this video. Let's get straight into it. So if you've been watching my videos recently, you'll know I've been talking about this relationship a lot because the implications of what exactly is going on here has a huge influence on the rest of the story. So for the purposes of this video, we are merely going to be looking at these overarching themes, but if you want a more applied analysis of what this might mean for certain situations, check out those videos, on could they be twins, who will teach Sukuna about love, what's Sukuna's true curse technique, what's Yuji's true potential. These are things that this relationship comes into play in, and it's because they're the most important relationship in the series, right? We've got our protagonist and our antagonist, and they're more connected than you might think. So first of all, on a very surface level, they look a lot alike, and that's not for nothing from an author's perspective, right? At the start of the manga, you could just assume that Sukuna looked like this because he was in Yuji, right? But we come to later find out that Sukuna in his true form also bears some resemblance here, not to mention the fact that they have the same color hair, which is not exactly a normal color hair to have, right? So there's just this parallel just kind of in your face from the beginning, which may speak to why people think they could be related or could be twins even, right? It may also speak to why Yuji is capable of being a prison for Sukuna, but let's kind of go beyond just the aesthetic similarities. Because one of Sukuna's defining traits that has led to his indomitable strength is his jujutsu genius. He is an absolute prodigy, right? He can see something, understand it, and even replicate it at times. And I know people like to sleep on Yuji, but that's true of him too. He is an absolute prodigy when it comes to jujutsu. You got to remember that throughout the entire manga, it's only been a few months really, and he has already gotten to the heights he's gotten to. Now, I'm not going to give any specific examples here because I'm going to keep this anime friendly, but those in the manga know what I'm talking about. He really is next level. Just because he doesn't have a curse technique, I think he gets slept on, but the man is built different. Gojo, when he's first training him during the movies, even speaks to how quickly Yuji has picked up on things and just how fast he's learning in general. Not only that, a few days later, Todo introduces him to the concept of black flashes, and then literally, in that same moment, Yuji ties the consecutive black flash record, merely after hearing about how this works. This man is a jujutsu genius. Next, they also both have insane self-belief and strength of will. Sukuna even comments on this explicitly, right? Saying that Yuji is the only one whose will has stood up in measurement to his own. It's part of the reason why he hates Yuji so much, because they are so diametrically opposed, yet Yuji can stand toe-to-toe with him in that regard. Yuji and Sukuna are very much written to be two sides of the same coin, and this is literally showcased in the composition of manga panels and official artwork from Gege. And this is not for nothing, right? These are intentional things that Gege is doing to kind of build this dynamic between them. I think in 2 or 3 images I've used in this video, they've been in this kind of pose, or the one where they're holding each other's necks. It's like a mirror of each other, right? And like two sides of the same coin, like a mirror, the things are the same, and yet they are completely different. And I think the simplest way to boil down this narrative foil is that Sukuna represents selfishness and Yuji represents selflessness. It's almost as if you took two identical people at the start of their life, right? They are completely the same in every way, but you have one pursue selfishness and one pursue selflessness. They would hate each other, right? Because not only do they see themselves in the other, but they see the things they hate the most about themselves in the other. This is why Sukuna absolutely despises Yuji and hates on him every chance he can get, right? And obviously Yuji is not fond of Sukuna. But that's because Sukuna literally spent his entire life pursuing his own pleasure, being selfish, right? He's given up everything in the pursuit of his own desires and his own strength, and it served him well, right? So he believes that that path is the correct path to take in life. So seeing Yuji, who does the exact opposite, just leaves a bitter taste in his mouth, right? And Yuji, again, is this complete opposite because everything he does is for others. This burden placed upon him in the first chapter by his grandpa, right? Help others, no matter if they don't thank you for it, no matter what, just help others. Use your strength for good. This is literally the antithesis of Sukuna, right? And again, since Sukuna himself admits that Yuji is the only one whose will is as strong as his, the fact that Yuji can get down but get back up every single time just pisses him off because he hates everything Yuji stands for. And the fact that even though Yuji stands for that, but can stand on an equal playing field with him is just the worst thing possible. Now, I don't want to be reductive in how much I'm boiling this down because this story is full of nuance and that's what makes it great, right? But just to orchestrate this point, if we boil it all the way down, it's a tale as old as time, right? Light versus dark, good versus evil. This is a shonen battle manga after all, right? The power of friendship versus the power of selfishness. What is ultimately going to win out? And Sukuna has obviously reigned supreme for thousands of years, right? Yuji, who literally represents everything he stands against, is going to come up against him. And so what's going to ultimately win? So yeah, as cliche as it is, I really do think they represent just two sides of the same coin. Two identical individuals that pursued diametrically opposed paths, and we are getting to see those reconcile and what it means and who chose correctly. Anyways, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching.